How are you guys? Mr. Exact is back. Let's talk about how to factorize quadratic expressions. We have three types of factorizations: that algebraic with 4 terms, then the difference of 2 squares, then the quadratic expressions. How can you tell the difference? The quadratic expressions are always in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Quadratic expressions, they always go with this format: ax squared plus bx plus c. We'll be having 3 terms, one with a letter with power 2, a letter with power 1, and the other term, the constant value, without any letter. For example, 2x squared plus 3x plus 7. This is a quadratic expression. So you might be asked to factorize such expressions, quadratic expressions, but look, there are 3, so we cannot factorize x here, but x is a common factor. How about 7? So we need to find a way of creating 4 terms out of these 3 terms. Then let's go over it. Suppose number 1, we are asked to factorize a squared plus 8a plus 15. We want to factorize a squared plus 8a plus 15. So the first thing, we must find a way that will come up with 4 terms. So group them into 2 groups. Right. How do you do is, you must multiply the first and last digits to get the product. That is a squared times 15a squared. We get positive 15a squared. This one is called the product. So the first approach is you multiply the first and last digits to get the product. After that, you list all the factors of the product. So the factors of 15a squared are, starting from 1a and 15a. Then let's try 2. 2 into 15 is impossible. 3 is also a factor. 3 into 15 we get 5a. Then 4 into 15 is impossible. 5 is possible, but 5 is already here. When factors are repeating themselves, it means we've now listed all the combination of factors of 15. So after listing these factors, what you do next is, we need to find a group of factors such that their sum will give us this middle value, the b value. And in this case, 1 plus 15 will give us 16. How about 3 plus 5 will give us 8? So a group of factors that qualifies to give us this middle value is 3a and 5a. So after having these 2 factors, they qualify both. When you multiply 3a and 5a, you must get the product 15a squared. When you add 3a and 5a, you get the sum. This is the b value, 8a. Right. After that, we need to substitute or remove the b value and replace it by these 2 factors that qualify. That is, we take a squared. Then we are no longer writing down 8a. We are taking these 2 factors. This is plus 3 and plus 5. So it's plus 3a plus 5a and plus 15. A squared, then you consider the 2 factors, then you take the c value. Then after that, we can factorize and group them into 2. Among the first 2 factors, the common factor is a. So we have a, open bracket, a into a squared, we get a into 3a, we get 3. Plus, among the last 2, 5a and 15, the common factor is 5. 5 into 5, we get a, plus 5 into 15, we get 3. Then, in fact, this is not the final answer. We must proceed to a stage whereby we present the terms outside brackets must have their own bracket, a plus 5. Then among these 2 common brackets, we just take 1 like this. So this is how we go about quadratic expressions. But how about quadratic expressions that involve negative signs? Remember, negative, Mr. Error, Mr. Mr. Problems. So we are going to present another example where we'll be talking on how best can we handle quadratic expressions that involve negative signs, because you might see some flames in your books. Right. Now let's look at how do we factorize quadratic expressions. How do we handle quadratic expressions that involve negative signs? Remember, minus is always problematic when it comes to mathematics, but you must know how to handle that negative sign. I have got a tactic that I'm going to share with you here. After learning that tactic, go and tell someone so that you can remember it, so that you cannot forget about that tactic, that technique, that skill. It's quite simple, guys, to factorize quadratic expressions involving negative symbols. So I have three examples here, three different examples. We have got a minus, we have got a minus, we have another minus here. Right, let's try and factorize the first example. 6y squared minus 10y plus 4. As usual, you multiply the first and last digits to get the product. So this is, remember, the product will always take the sign of the C value. It's 6y squared times positive 4. So we get positive 24y squared. Now, want to list all the factors of 24y squared. You start by listing positive factors. That is 1y and 24y. You try 2. 2 into 24 is possible, so 2y and 12y. You try 3. 3 into 24 is possible, so 3y and 8y. 4. 4y, 4 into 24, 6. 5 into 24 is impossible. 6 is possible, but 6 already exists, which means now we have all the factors. So these are the combination of factors that will give us 24. Now, let me introduce the tactic. Always, this b value, the sign of the middle value, either it's a minus or a plus, always this sign is given to all the bigger factors among all the combinations. I was listing them such a way that smaller factors and their bigger factors. Among the bigger factors, always you give this middle value to every bigger factor in every combination. So automatically these bigger factors are becoming negative. After effecting this sign, try and check if multiplication of the factors can still give the proper sign of the product. 1 times minus 24, we cannot get positive 24. 2 times minus 12, we are not getting the sign of the product. But we cannot reverse what we did here. Always the mid value is given, the mid sign is given to the bigger values. So if a multiplication after effecting this sign is not giving you back the proper sign of the product, the only option is you also change the smaller factors to be negative numbers like this. So these numbers, these smaller factors, are only changed on one condition, that multiplication after effecting this sign to bigger values is not giving back the product of the proper sign of the product. But now, after changing these factors, let's have a look. Minus 1 times minus, we get positive 24. Minus 2 times minus 12, we get positive 24. Now, when multiplication is done, there's no any sign which must be changed again. Now check with the group that will give us negative 10r. Let's try from the top. Minus 1 minus 24, we get minus 25. Minus 2 minus 12, we get minus 14. Minus 3 minus 8, we get minus 11. Minus 4 minus 6 will give us minus 10. So this is the group of factors that qualified. So we are now saying 6y squared, and we are substituting this one by the two factors minus 4 and minus 6y. Then we get plus 4. After that, we proceed as usual. The common factor among the first two, we have 6 and 4, so the common factor is 2. Among the y values, we have y. 2 into 6, we have 3. Y into y squared, we have y. Minus 2 into 4, 2, y into y 1. Then always you take the sign that connects the next terms, so it's minus. Among these two, common factor is 2. Minus 2 into minus 6, we get a positive 3y. Minus 2 into plus, we get a minus. Remember, the first bracket determines the outcome of the other bracket. Now it's minus 2 into plus 4, we get negative 2. Finally, the terms outside brackets, 2y and minus 2, then 3y and minus 2. Normally that's what we do, except in this situation, in this bracket, there's also a common factor 2, so there was a need to factorize further. That is, 2 is common, you get y minus 1, then the other bracket 3y minus 2. So the tactic, let me repeat one more example so that we can go over and again on how to use this tactic to handle quadratic expressions involving negative numbers. Alright, example number 2. 3a squared plus 7a minus 6. First thing, you multiply the first and last digits to find the product. So in this case, it's 3 times minus 6. The product will take this side. 3 times minus 6, we get minus 18a squared. Make sure you take the proper sign of the product so that our tactic can apply perfectly. So it's 3 times minus 6, we get minus 18. Then let's list all the factors of 18. You start by listing down the positive factors only. So the factors of 18 in their combinations are 1a and 18a, 2a and 9a, 3a, 3 into 18, 6a, 4 into 18 is impossible, 5 into 18, 4, 6. When you are repeating the factors that are already there, it means all the factors are now in the list. Now, the tactic is always the mid value, the sign of the mid value, the b value, is given to the bigger factors. In this case, we have a positive. So this positive symbol is given to this group of positive factors in every combination. So it becomes positive, positive, and positive. After applying this symbol, don't rush to find the two factors that will add to 7. Check if multiplication can still give you negative 18. 1 times 18, we get a positive, not a negative. 2 times 9, we get a positive. 3 times 6, get a positive. So in such a case that multiplication is not giving us this sign of the product, then we opt to change the smaller factors. Why? Because we cannot reverse this. Always mid sign is given to bigger values. Now let's check multiplication again. Minus 1 times 18, we get minus 18. Minus 2 times 9, we get negative 18. Minus 3 times, get this one. Then after that, you check which group will give you positive 7. Minus 1 plus 18 is 17. Minus 2 plus 9, that's 7. So this group qualifies, and you'll be using this group to substitute 7. So quickly, let's go through example number C. Like this: y squared plus 10y minus 24. You multiply the first and last digits to get the product. So in this case, we have minus 24y squared. Y times minus 24, always the product will take the sign of C value. This is A, B, C. The C value, its sign is B, is being the sign of the product. Let's list all the factors of 24. We are going to list positive factors first, starting from 1y and 24y, 2y and 12y, 3y and 8y, 4y and 4 into 24, we get 6y. 5, impossible. 6 is already there, so we have all the factors now. Right, the tactic is always the mid sign. The sign of the b value is given to the bigger factors. So in this case, again, we have a positive. So these bigger factors are going to be positive, like this. After multiplying, check if, after effecting the sign of the b value, check if multiplication is still giving this sign, because the product is minus 24. So if you say 1 times 24, we will not get minus 24. 2 times 12 will not get minus 24, which means that we need to change the smaller factors like this to be negatives. Now minus 1 times 24, we get negative 24. When multiplication is done, now look for a combination that will give you positive 10. And in this case, the second group, minus 2 plus 12 will give us 10. So these two factors will be replacing 10. Then you proceed with factorization. So a symbol is this. This is how you go through quadratic expressions factorization. Thank you for following us. Always remember, after learning something, after understanding something, go and tell someone before you forget, because forgetting is one of the biggest enemies to all candidates. So after you went through this tutorial, you understood how to handle quadratic expressions, tell a friend, teach them, always teach them, so be an expert like Mr. Exact.